Dear friends, my name is Hannah Simpson. I was born in Somers Point, New Jersey, raised in Hillsdale, New Jersey, and I'm a graduate of our state's public high schools, specifically the Pascack Valley Regional High School District in Bergen County. It is such an honor to speak here in our state capitol and to welcome the new Director of Garden State Equality, Mr. Christian Fuscarino. So, every trans person has their own snarky way to acknowledge being such at this point in the speech, so I'll just say I'm now available in female. My hometown, where my parents, Bert and Alicia, still reside, recently worked to formalize the rights of trans students when it began to encounter public backlash. While hardly the first town in the state to do this, and it was in progress for months before North Carolina went to special session, the timing thrust us to national spotlight. As a transgender alumna, I went home to engage the public. I firmly believe that transgender people are harder to fear and impossible to deny when one is standing right in front of you as compared to the misconceptions in people's heads. One resident responded, and I quote, "I think this is horrendous. I think it's terrible that kids have to deal with these things at such a young age, and I don't believe in what you are doing. I do not hate you, I hate what you are doing." I replied, "The interesting thing is that I agree with you. It is terrible that kids have to deal with this at a young age. There are lots of adult situations that we need to explain to our children, or our children to us. Kids get sick, are bullied, see poverty and inequity in the world, fear terrorism, and process the permanence of death. Some kids are transgender, which offers its own unique set of challenges." The answer is love. The answer always is and always was love, when these children need unequivocal affirmation that they are loved more than ever. The last thing to do is deny their realities, even if we truly wish them the easiest and most tranquil childhoods. We hear all too often parents saying that trans children are not welcome in our spaces, perhaps even in their own homes, simply because they are different. Some go on to paint them as threats and even criminal by mere existence. The inevitable consequence is that darkness perpetuates more darkness. A child who is dead to their parents is staggeringly more likely to end up dead overall. Pascack Valley's new policy would have empowered me to realize my true self sooner, and will help ensure future students' safety if they confide in a teacher or guidance counselor that their own parents might not be as supportive as I have been lucky that mine have been. I cannot say the same for two former classmates who are no longer welcome in the house they grew up in. Creating safe and inclusive spaces is the only way to help all of our students become spectacular adults. Make no mistake, though, legislating peeing is legislating being. 2 years ago, I faced this embarrassment myself. An administrator in my medical school asked me, "What do you plan to do about bathrooms?" "I fully plan to continue using them," I politely replied, and tried to leave the matter at that. My message to the state is simple. We exist. Hi. We're not a threat, and we're pretty amazing individuals once you get to know our stories. Some of us are even on the market for a great new job. Give us the tools we need to maximize our human potential, and we will not disappoint. Government cannot legislate opinion, but what it can do, and what it exists to do, is protect and expand the rights of minorities. We need organizations like Garden State Equality and Mr. Fuscarino to help us coordinate our collective efforts and to light the fires under our elected leadership as they have done and will continue to remedy the reality that there are still young people in our state today who wake up each morning and honestly have to ask themselves whether they will lose the emotional or financial support of their parents if they step out from the closet, or fear becoming a suicide statistic, if not a homicide statistic first. To that I demand not one more. So one more fun Jersey story that I want to share, though, on an issue that GSE has lobbied for tirelessly. While I reside in New York City now, I was born in New Jersey. Transgender people need to choose carefully where we are born. Our governor twice vetoed a bill that would permit changes in birth certificates without requiring genital surgery, which not every trans person has access to, is a medical candidate for, or even desires. In an act of civil disobedience and Jewish Jersey snark, I had my doctor write a letter saying that I in fact had a genital surgery. I neglected to mention that it was when I was 8 days old, or that my mom served coffee cake. New Jersey's Office of Vital Statistics apparently accepted my circumcision as sufficient legal justification to be considered female. It should highlight the absurdity of these regulations that require someone to go under the knife just to live an authentic life, and the negligence of a leader who thinks that passing this bill would have engendered misrepresentation. And to those who question whether the LGB and transgender communities can work together, as progress thus far has admittedly not equitably acknowledged our needs, I remind you that we are still and have always been in this together. Asserting our own and ensuring others' freedom of expression is itself an expression of freedom. Our nation has no shortage of experience putting up barriers, but we have grown stronger with each one we have taken down. As for me, not hiding my past might help someone else to stop hiding their future. Thank you all, and congratulations again to Mr. Foscarino.